Okay, so about those forms, some of you got two, your certificate, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. The first time I ran them, if you got a purple one, that category might have been wrong. I used the wrong GPA. My bad. So we fixed it, so your white one should be correct. That should reflect your weighted GPA and the category that you fit into. Thank you, Mr. Noriega, wherever you are, for finding my mistake. Alright, so I want to talk to you just for a second about what does it mean to have a good GPA and why is that important, although you probably know because you have one. Here's how we calculate that if you didn't know already. Every time you get an A in the weighted category, let's see if I got a laser pointer. There we go. You get 5 points, a B's worth 4, a C's worth 3, D's worth 2, and then we just add those up and divide by 7, right? The number of classes you have, and that's how we calculate your GPA. So you can obviously see that the higher grade you get, the higher GPA you get. How many of you got above a 4.0? Can I get you to stand? Because that's pretty impressive. You took some weighted, some hard classes. Very good. Yeah, give a round of applause. Excellent. All right, thank you guys. So that means they took honors or AP. Those classes give you 5 points for an A when it's a weighted class. So honors, English, math, science, history, whatever it is. That's not easy. Especially if you got Mr. Schnacker. He's hard, right? So that's how you get the weighted points. Here's the categories, and I think that's on your form. I'm going to need you to leave. I think that's on your form, what category you got and what GPA you had. So if you got 4.0 or above, you're a champion. So this is why this is important, and I want you to understand. How many of you plan or hope to go to college? Yeah! Very good, good. Alright. Most colleges will care about your ACT score, but there is something else they care about, typically a little more, and that's your GPA, because that incorporates your work ethic and how willing you are to do the things you need to do to be successful, right? This is an example of a scholarship grid, and I know it's kind of hard to see, but GPA usually, most colleges have something like this, okay? GPA goes across the top, and your ACT score goes down the column, down the left side. And that's just how much money you get for enrolling with those two things. You don't have to do anything else. So if you have a good GPA, and you can do well on that ACT score, some schools will give you a decent amount of money just for going. Does that make sense? So that's kind of cool. Keep that GPA up, and then when it comes time to take the ACT, you take that seriously. How many of you are taking the ACT next week? Hopefully most of juniors. It's kind of a big deal. Alright, so every year when we do this honor roll assembly to celebrate you, we invite somebody to come talk, just kind of congratulate you. This guy, I love to listen to him talk, one, because he has a really cool accent, and two, because he's really smart and he has a really kind of fun job. So I asked him his title, and it's like over 25 words, so I'm going to let him kind of tell you what he does, and then he's got a inspiring message for you today. Dr. Alan Bierman works at Washburn University. I'm going to turn it over to him.
So let me first tell you that congratulations on having a good GPA. What I'm going to do is tell you who I am, and then I'm going to talk for a little bit about why grades are important. And I would just tell you as a beginning point to pick up on something. ACT scores are important. Okay? But at the university, high school GPAs are much more interesting to us. ACT scores, we do not use those to predict your success in university. We do use your high school GPA. We can look at your high school GPA and tell if you're going to graduate from college or not. It's really that simple. Your high school GPA tells us everything we need to know about you and whether or not you're going to be successful. So it's incredibly important. So my name is Alan Bierman. I'm a professor of history and Christianity, dean of university libraries, and the Center for Student Success and Retention of Washburn. And I have a very simple job at Washburn, and that is to help students graduate. I have about 40 people that work for me, and our job is to help students graduate. So we spend an inordinate amount of time thinking about GPAs, talking to the high schools, encouraging high schools to challenge their students, because university is hard. Not everybody graduates. This year in the United States of America, about 20 million students went to university. and 10 million of them will drop out. They will flunk out. So think about that for a minute. About 50% of the students going to university are going to flunk out. Students who make the honor roll in high school graduate from university. So if this is your first time on the honor roll, it's a big deal. Now you need to stay on the honor roll. If you're on the honor roll every semester, stay on the honor roll every semester, because your chances of graduating from university are exponentially higher. I would tell you that in Kansas, where we live, 75% of all jobs in the next 10 years will require some type of university education. Now that could be a full baccalaureate degree, a 4-year degree, that could be an associate degree in some cases, that includes technical education. But all of them, all of the new jobs, 75% of new jobs require you to get more than a high school diploma. And students who do well in high school graduate from post-secondary education to get those jobs. And if you think those figures, scholarships are a big deal. The salary difference between somebody with a university degree and somebody with a high school diploma is enormous and growing. In the life of the average income for somebody who graduates from high school, so if you're going to graduate this year in 2019, if all you do is go to high school, the statistics say you will make about $600,000 in your lifetime. $600,000. That sounds like a lot of money until you hear that a university graduate, on average, who graduates from university this year will make about $2.3 million in their lifetime. All right? So the gap is enormous. So let me just tell you something that I've learned. I'm not from Topeka, Kansas. I know it's hard to, I know you're surprised by that, right? I'm originally from London, England. I moved to the United States of America when I was 15. And I had a dream, and my dream was to live in Topeka, Kansas. That may not be entirely accurate, but here we are. So dreams do come true. I was always very good at school. I've always been very good at school. My parents were custodians, school custodians at middle school, so I've cleaned a lot of toilets, and I knew that cleaning toilets as to middle school children was not something I wanted to do for my life. My brother does that now, but I was always good at school, and I did very well in school, and I always had good grades. And those good grades and doing well in school meant that I now have multiple university degrees. I have degrees in psychology, biology, and history. I have a PhD in the history of Christianity. I'm one of 50 people in the world who know something about church and state in early America. And it's like, so what, right? Well, what it means is I have, over the last 20 years, taught hundreds, thousands of students. And my students have gone on to become CEOs of big companies, to become attorneys, to become professors, to become high school teachers. Many of you are high school teachers. I taught your high school teachers. There's not any school in Northeast Kansas where I don't have people teaching who I taught, right? So I know my students have gone on and done all kinds of things. And I talk to my students, my former students, a lot about why have they been successful? What was it that made them successful? And they've all made good grades, they've all done well. And they don't really talk about, and this sometimes gets me in trouble when I say this, they don't talk about the stuff they learned very often, right? So they never say to me, well, I've been successful because in class X, I learned Y, right? But they talk about the habits they learned, the discipline they learned in making good grades. And I hope you realize that your teachers are really proud of the fact that you're in this auditorium today, because it speaks to them about your willingness to work hard. And working hard is not something that everyone does. I know that may come as a surprise to you, but not everybody works hard. There's a lot of people who are just lazy. There are a lot of people who spend all their time playing video games. So let me tell you a story about video games. We had a young man who came to Washburn University in August. He came from the Kansas City, Missouri area, and he had a 4.7 weighted GPA, And he scored a 34 out of 36 on the ACT. Right? So it's a great young man. He flunked out in one semester.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. One semester he flunked out. I told him, his dad came to see me last, about October, and he said, my son's midterm grades are not very good. And I said, no, they're not. He said, what should we do? I said, kick his bloody Xbox out the window. And his dad said, well, I can't do that. It's a stress relief. And I said, stress relief? It's you know, it's making him lazy. And he said, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. And so his son flunked out because he had bad work ethic. So he went to a high school where everything came easy for him. I know a lot of people at Toledo West, and I know you guys have worked hard to make good grades. The discipline and the hard work that it takes to make good grades are what are going to make you successful. You have to commit yourself, though. You know, even though you're here now, you've got to commit yourself every day to working hard. So school always came easy to me, so I kept going to school. To get a PhD in the history of Christianity took me 14 years of education after high school. Right? It takes a long time to get as many degrees as I've got, right? It took me 14 years after high school of going to school, of working hard, of being disciplined, and those lessons that you learn in pursuing excellence are the lessons that will make your life successful. And you can, however you want to define success, right? But we live in a really competitive world. So when I talk to my former students, they always talk about how competitive the world is. They always talk about how competitive the workplace is, how competitive, how everything is driven by competition. It's a very American trait. I was in Australia a few years ago teaching one summer, and the students were talking to me and they said, tell me what's different, Dr. Behrman, about Australia and the United States. And I said, Americans are really, really competitive. Right? They compete. Many of you do high school athletics, scholarship. Competition drives our lives. And you don't always win because you're the most talented. You win because you work hard and you're committed and you learn to be disciplined. And my students talk about that all the time. And I say to my former students, when did you learn to work hard? When did you learn to become disciplined? And none of them say in my class. None of them say, Dr. Behrman, you taught me to be that way. All of them say, I learned to do that in high school. And I've thought a lot about that, about how important high school is. And I've been thinking a lot about my high school, where I went to high school in Kentucky recently. And the only class I can remember taking in high school was typing. I don't really remember any of the other classes. I don't remember any of the other teachers, but I remember typing. And I remember in my typing class, my typing teacher, Betty Rudell, talked non-stop about working hard and being disciplined. And I had to work hard to type. My hands are big, and you've all got personal computers and Chromebooks and things now. But I used to hit these keys on the typewriter really hard and break the keys. And Betty Rudell used to get mad at me for breaking the keys on the typewriter. So I had to work hard to be a little bit more gentle on the keys. I had to work hard to learn how to type. And I remember that class because of all the discipline it introduced to my life. All of my former students talk about how high school was important to them. All of my students talk about it was in high school that they began to learn the habits that shape their lives. And all of my students who have gone on to be really successful were on the honor roll in high school. Every single one of them. And I've taught a lot of students. I mean, I've had a lot of students. I've had a lot of students go be successful. And they all talk about high school and how they committed themselves to learning, but also to learning the habits of success. So again, your teachers are proud of you. I'm proud of you. I think it's an incredible accomplishment, and I want to encourage you to keep working hard. I want to encourage you to take hard classes. I'm going to make a plug for Washburn. I want to encourage you to take concurrent enrollment classes. Students who take college classes while in high school graduate at far higher rates than anyone else. For every one student, it's about students who take college classes in high school, about 75% of them graduate college within about 3 years. And so that means they spend less money, they're more successful, things just, they just move along faster, right? So if you're not thinking about, or you haven't signed up for those college classes, take them now. I've heard Mr. Dick talk about how much money that saves people. It saves people thousands of dollars, will save you thousands of dollars, right? And will help you be successful. I want to encourage you to challenge yourself, not just to learn stuff, but to learn the habits of success. Successful people get up early. Yeah, right? They get up early. They start work early. Successful people stay up late. I don't know, this is probably not good science, but if you're sleeping more than 5 hours a night, you're probably wasting your life. Yeah? Some of you are sleeping 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a night, right? Yeah? Stop it. Stop wasting your life. Get up early. Go to bed late. But not because you're playing on the Xbox, but because you're working hard. Because you're trying to be successful. That always gets them stirred up when you tell them they're sleeping too much, you know. So look, I know you're all thinking about lunch, so I'm not going to talk for a long time, I'll just talk for a couple more minutes. But commit yourself to the habits of success. How many of you read every day? Don't put your hands up because it might be embarrassing. If you need to be reading about 500 pages a week, beyond what you're assigned in school. My history students, listen to this, ready? In one class, I'm teaching a class this semester on the history of the separation of church and state in America, all right? And it's an incredibly important class, incredibly important moment in time to be teaching about the separation of church and state. My students in this one class are reading about 1,000 to 1,500 pages a week. Right? So imagine now they're taking 5 other classes. If you want to be successful in college, you've got to read. But if you want to be successful in life, you've got to read. I talk to these people who've been, these former students, they all talk about reading. Reading causes you to be creative in your thinking. It causes you to be disciplined in your thinking. You've got to read. Right? You've got to commit yourself to reading. And to read that much means you've got to adjust your schedule. You've got to learn to manage your time. You've got to be disciplined about your time. You've got to be thoughtful about your time. And here's the last thing that successful people talk to me about always. You've got to surround yourself with other successful people. So the people in this room are successful people. Surround yourself with successful people so that you can work on the habits of success together. All right? So look, here's the deal. I'm really glad to be here. I appreciate the opportunity really just to come and tell you well done. Come to Washburn. Let me help you reach your dreams, be successful. Maybe you can live your dream like I have to end up in Topeka, Kansas. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you, Dr. Bierman. I'm going to plug that one more time when he was talking about the dual credit classes. You are all eligible because you have a 3.0 or above to enroll as a junior or a senior. So if you're a freshman, sophomore, I'm mostly talking to you. No juniors, you can do it next year. Enroll in some classes here with one of our teachers in kind of a regular classroom setting, and you earn college credit at Washburn as well. So if you want to know more about that, ask your counselor, ask one of the administrators. It is a big cost savings, and you get that college transcript started early, get a little taste of what a college class is like.